Hey church, it's time to take a second glance at the text, which I'm not gonna lie, today it's kind of tough. And the whole book of Obadiah, there's only 21 verses. So we've covered a lot this morning. We talked about the themes of God's sovereignty and God's justice. We talked about humility, the day of the Lord. And there's just, with 21 verses, there's not a whole lot to tease out. But if you go one book backwards, or if you can remember a few months ago when we talked about Amos, there's a seeming contradiction between the end of Amos and Obadiah that I want to deal with. Obadiah is it's really a judgment oracle that's been given to Edom. And as we talked about today, Edom are the ancestors of Esau, and Israel are the ancestors of Jacob. And the problems that Jacob and Esau had, they ran right down through the nations that came from them. So Edom and Israel, though they're cousins or brothers, as the text says, they continued that strife that began in Rebekah's womb. Now, at one point in time, in Obadiah here, if we take a look at verse 9, it says, "And your mighty men shall be dismayed, O Teman, and that every man from out Esau would be cut off by slaughter. Because of the violence done to your brother Jacob," now he's talking to Edom, "shame shall cover you, and you shall be cut off forever." All right, so if we look at what Obadiah is saying, it seems like Edom, because of what they've done to Israel by taking advantage of them when the Babylonians attacked, it seems like Edom is out of God's plan now forever. They will be cut off forever. But that's not what Amos says. Check out, if we just flip back even a page in my Bible, chapter 9. "In that day I will raise up the booth of David that has fallen and repair its breaches and raise up its ruins. And I will rebuild as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all nations who are called by my name." So in Obadiah, it says, Edom, you're cut off forever. But in Amos, it talks about how the remnant of Edom will be raised up. So how do we reconcile those two? Well, that's what we're going to take our second glance at today. So it seems as in the book of Obadiah that God is done with Esau's descendants, that they have committed such atrocities against Israel, taking advantage of their own family in awful ways that God says you're cut off forever. And it's a drastic thing, and it's a very general term. The general term meaning all those who are part of Edom, but the truth is it's only those who've brought that judgment upon themselves. You see, Amos reminds us that even in Edom, there was a faithful remnant, a small leftover group who knew and had a relationship with God. And so on the day of the Lord, when God returns, he will not only deal with the faithful and the unfaithful of Israel, but he'll deal with the faithful and the unfaithful of all nations. And it tells us in Amos that there is a small, faithful remnant in Edom. Gang, the lesson I think I see for us is being overgeneral or overgeneralizing our thoughts and our understandings and opinions about a whole people. Even the nation of Edom had some within it who were faithful. Where I see this happen all the time is in our opinions about what's going on between Israel and Palestine today. And we think of the promises, the Zionists think of the promises that God gave to Israel of that land. Many of our brothers and sisters look at the Palestinian Christians and say, but they were there at the time of Jesus, it should be theirs. And what we tend to do is we tend to overgeneralize. We tend to look at Israel as a nation, we tend to look at Palestine as a nation. But what we need to understand is there are individual people in each of those nations, and there are individual people that have their own relationship, whether it be faithful or unfaithful, with the true God of this world through Jesus Christ. And what we see in Amos and Edom, this apparent discrepancy, is a reminder to us that in all places you can find God's faithful people. What might seem as the most wicked of all nations, the Third Reich of the time, you are going to find people like Bonhoeffer, Christians who who work in ways to speak against evil. Though they may be in the minority, they're still there. That God has placed his faithful people as witnesses to the light, and in our day to the gospel in all places. Even in Edom, there were faithful followers of God. So let's be careful when we talk politics, how we talk about whole nations. Let's be careful that we don't overgeneralize and use terms like everybody or nobody. Because we have a God in his sovereignty and in his providence that works in some pretty amazing ways. I'll confess, one of the ways that I usually do it is as a big fan of the Protestant Reformation is with the Catholic Church. And I've been challenged. I have a really good friend who's an evangelical Catholic, who he believes that Jesus Christ is his Lord and Savior, and he is saved by faith and faith alone. And he challenged me to see that even in what seems to be an apostate, cultic group, there are still faithful believers who hear the word of God and have a relationship with him. So that's my challenge to you in this very short, very difficult book of Obadiah. Let's be careful to not discount in God's sovereignty that where he has placed his people, and that there might be a faithful remnant, even if we can't see them among all the nations. All right, well, I hope you can wrestle with the application, taking a quick second look at this text, and I hope you enjoy reading God's word.